Here we go. Well, that looks a bit better. Let's see if we can find it now. Not yet. Notifications. Nope. Hey, me. Where's my stuff? Home. YouTube. What? My channel. View channel. Posts, shorts, multiple layouts. Let's check live. Right, okay. Maybe. I have no idea if this is working. I'm trying my best. Basically, this is the first time I've tried doing this, and it just doesn't seem to want to. Should be, surely. I can manage the stream here. Let's try my Mac. Come on. I want to be able to see that it's actually working. So we're having a look. Too many computer stuff up. Right, my channel. View my channel. There should be some live now. Okay. Let's see if we've got some. Hey. Okay, so it does seem to be working. Great. So I'm going to leave this up afterwards anyway. This is a trial. I have no idea. If people come in, great, because I haven't kind of put anything out here to say that I'm going to be going live. I've not done like what you should do, which is basically say you plan to go live and it like puts a post up to say going live on this time date. But I'm messing around with my PC, see how it works. I do know how to stream. I genuinely do. I haven't done so much streaming on YouTube. I used to stream on Twitch all the time. But I thought what I'd do is have a little play about with my streaming software and my setup here to see if I can kind of do a basic stream, to possibly do a Q&A. Might get some questions on here. It might be about me being a priest, living on the Isle of Man, moving to the Isle of Man, what that was all about. Some of the things I do over here. So it might be faith related, it might be priest related, it might be wild camping, it might be about my gear, it might be about life in general, just anything really. So thought I'd come on here and give it a go. It's quite messy behind me. This is me. I usually don't do much in the way of like messing around with tidying up before a stream, because kind of you take me as I am. But yeah, just thought I'd come on here, see how it worked, see if anybody at all decided to pop in and say hello. If not, I'll hang around here for a bit. Maybe if I can get some music playing as well. I usually have some sort of lo-fi stuff on. Let's get my mixer up. Let's get the motion detected at the front door. Yeah, sorry, I've got one of those ring door cams. I better close my door actually, because otherwise people are going to walk in. But you never know. You never know. Someone might decide to turn up and say hello and ask some questions, or you might just want to say hello. That's kind of what I'm saying. But yep. Let's have a look. I could put some tunes on. Where's me Spotify? I only use Spotify free for this, but let's go to Stream Beats and just do like a random play thing. Put my headphones on for this. Make sure it's not too loud. Okay. So that's working well so far. Hello. What? Hello? Why is nothing working? Stream Beats by Harris Heller. Right, let's close that. Let's try it again. Honestly, the thing about doing this always is this constant need to restart stuff and Spotify. Here we go. Right, come on. See if we can do this. Oh, I've got my volume down anyway, but probably Spotify. Right, it's playing. If I do that, why is Spotify not turning up? So, music. There, muted. Spotify on. Spotify on. Spotify mute. Ridiculous. So I had this working the other day. Some tunes in the background. Right. So yeah, when I did a little stream on my old streaming account on Twitch just to see what that was like, and yeah, I had to update everything and reset all the settings, and it's like a couple of hours work just to get it to a stage where I could actually do a live stream. But yeah, thought I'd give it a go, pop on, see what it sounds like. I do have a really good microphone, he says, pretty decent. And yeah, I used to do live sort of gaming streams. So during COVID, during the lockdown, I was known as, well, Vicarious BIG, but also I was kind of called the Gaming Vicar. Everyone ended up calling me the Gaming Vicar. I did loads of streams. I used to do about 3 a week on a Monday and a Wednesday and a Friday for about 4 hours. And so I'd do like 8 till 12. So it wouldn't mess up with my sort of working day. And during COVID, obviously, there was so much stuff that didn't happen with like meetings and things in the evenings, which is much more part of my life when everything opened back up again. And normally, as a vicar, quite often your meetings are in the evening because some of the people in your congregations are working or are busy or got stuff to do during the daytime. So to make sure you can include most people, including those who are working and got families, you tend to do meetings in the evening. So quite often stuff starts at 7, half 7. It's a bit better here because when I was in the UK and living in London, a lot of people worked in London, so they might not get back till 6, 7 o'clock, and then probably closer to 7, and then get to a meeting they'd need to start at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and you have some meetings that go on quite late, so 8 go on to sort of 10 o'clock at night. I've heard of meetings that go on to sort of like PCC meetings, which are parochial church council meetings, that go on to like 11 o'clock midnight, and that's not my style. But he used to end up working quite late anyway, quite often. So yeah, I did the streaming for a while. Did all through COVID and afterwards as well, and it was just such a time-consuming thing, which is great during COVID. It gave me something to focus on and do. I developed an online ministry doing the live streams, people playing video games, still in touch with people. I went live the other night, and one of my friends, a guy called Travis from Texas. I think he's near Dallas, Texas, actually. He came on to say hello, so that was nice. Do if you're watching, do come and say, just type in the chat hi. Don't have to get involved. I know with streaming, quite a lot of the time people are just lurking around, just kind of hanging around there. So that's fine. You can kind of pop in and say hello if you want to, but it was just a thing I did for a couple of years, really, and it still pops up every now and again. So the other week, even though I don't really do it much anymore, just don't have the time. Even though I kind of started doing this. I get like the odd request every now and again from like someone, somewhere in media, because I am the gaming vicar. And so, Alan, recently on YouTube, keep up the great work you do. Really enjoy YouTube. Thanks a lot, Alan. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Which Alan is this? Is this Alan I know? Is this friend Alan or just another Alan? Sorry, I don't mean to say just another Alan. It's just I've got a buddy called Alan I haven't seen in ages, who's in the UK. I'm hoping he's enjoying the football being back, that Alan. But yeah, nice to have you here. Thanks. As long as everything's working, that's a really good sign. Yeah, thanks for saying hello and showing that the chat works and the microphone works and the video works, and so I'm kind of, it's okay. Good stuff. Yeah, so every now and again a phone call about the streaming stuff, and I'll get asked to come in. Quite often it's not. Sometimes it's about the gaming stuff. So I was on Premier Christian Radio, which is large, sort of a mainly online radio station, and it was an early one. It's like a 7:30 in the morning breakfast show thing, and I wanted to talk. They did say they wanted to talk about online safety a lot more, which we did a little bit, but then people get sort of chatting about what I used to do, is like this ministry thing, so that became a bit of a thing. The reason I'm on tonight, Saturday night, is I'm on currently on annual leave, so I've got a couple of weeks off. I'm been going out doing some stuff. What did we do today? We went down to the front, Castletown, and went to the gelato. I've had too much gelato over the last week, but we've got a really good gelato place. It's what's it called? Isle of Man Gelato on the Sea or something like that. And a fellow in there makes all the gelato, and it's really, really good. And we saw they posted that they had a limoncello one, and that's and like lemon zesty ice creams, gelatos, I should say, fantastic. So I thought I'd give that a go. What else have we been up to? So you'll see a couple of the videos I've put out. So one is going to the beach at Laxey, glorious day. Went for Seymour food. Went for crumble. So there's a shack, and what they do is they have these tubs, and they let's put it down a little bit so you can see a little bit more. They have these tubs, and they put in the bottom, like the filling, if you like, the apple, or my wife had the black cherry or cherry, whatever it was, and then a crumble on the top. You've got different types of crumble. And then you have like cream or custard or ice cream, like that was gelato as well. And I had the frozen custard. Admittedly, it felt like just like a basic vanilla ice cream, but frozen custard. And then you can have sprinkle stuff on top. So it's like meringue and Biscoff and all sorts of things like that. So, yeah, that was really tasty, really nice. Had that, and we got a couple of drinks, and we just I did some filming. Tasha, my wife, that is Tasha, she did some word searches, and that was really nice. So I've got a video on that. I've been playing around with video lengths at the moment, so I think that's only about 40-minute video. I then went to the Southern Show, not Southern Show, I missed the Southern Show. I went to the Royal Manx Agricultural Show, and we walked around there for nearly 5 hours, and it was really good. So much stuff there. You got all the craft tents, the food tents, sort of locally made stuff all over. You got like a food section, like a place where you can go get some lunch and stuff, and that's really cool, because it's so much of it's, pretty much all of it's like, all of it, All of it was pretty much local produce. So, like, you get a burger, but it's made with Manx beef, and all the stalls are like local businesses. Really good. And yeah, we spent no problem spending 4.5 hours. Probably could have stayed there a bit longer. And you got all like the massive agricultural stuff. So like people selling milking systems and huge combine harvesters and tractors and stuff, and they're all sitting there. And then you've got stuff for everybody there. So they're quite cool. And classic cars. The classic cars were amazing. I had a Porsche 928. My favourite is the Porsche 944, which I didn't have. But I had a Porsche 928, and it was really sounded amazing. And some really cool cars in there. And then they had like horses and stuff like that. Today's Saturday, isn't it? Yeah, today they had more of the sort of livestock in there, but we didn't go today. We thought Friday might be a bit quieter, so we thought we'd go along on the Friday. What else is there to tell you? I mean, what else have we done this week? So we've done some wild camping. There's another video out there for that. So I've been off, so I've done a few videos this week, just a couple of extra bonuses. So about two or three bonus videos, and like a kind of a main one for the Friday. And that was really good. Had a good week. I'm just coming up to having my first full week off, and looks like my answer phone's been working because I left the message on it to say I'm not available. I've had a couple of emails I had to deal with. One was to do with the funeral, so although I'm not taking the funeral, the family or the people, the relations who contacted me didn't know I was off because they didn't come through my normal email. They came through, we have something called a church near you, which lets you know if there's a church nearby. You put your postcode in, it tells you your local church, and they contacted me through like the messaging system on that. Now I'm the only one who's going to look at that really, and it won't give them an automatic message to say I'm away. So I replied back to that because I didn't want them to not have a reply when they've got something like a funeral going on it's a week Monday actually. I don't get back to the Tuesday. And I've got plenty of help around here. So I've got an assistant priest called Colin, Reverend Colin, who has been here for like 30 years as a self-supporting. So that means paying your own way. He was a police officer before, but he's been here for a long, long time. And so I kind of left it to him to deal with, passed on all the information, made all the arrangements, and left it to him. So I didn't have to worry about it. So. But yeah, because I knew they'd contacted through this online portal, a church near you, and so I got in contact with them. That was about live streaming, funnily enough, because in the churches we can't live stream at the moment. So I can't. I'd love to sort of live stream some services because I think that would be good. Probably wouldn't put it on this channel. I set up a separate channel for live streaming services from my churches. But we need internet. We haven't got internet. I think the only way we're going to get internet into our churches is probably through Starlink. So one of my churches is quite rural, and they're putting through fibre. So there's no other way of doing it. You'd have to have it fibre, and it's a fortune. You need to dig up quite a lot. Churches, when you start digging holes, it gets quite complicated. So probably thinking about Starlink if we put it up at Arbury Church. I'd use a mobile signal. Mobile signal's really terrible in the churches. It's not great at Arbury generally, and down at St Mary's on the Harbour, which is another one of my churches, it is in the town, and maybe we could get fibre put in, but Starlink it might be possible to see if we can put that in there, and it would be more movable. I was going to say, I think I meant to say something like manoeuvrable. But yeah, we could put like Starlink in there, and then we could perhaps live stream some services and stuff. But I wouldn't put it on my Isle of Man Vicar channel simply because that's got a theme, if you like, which is outdoors, Isle of Man, hiking, camping, visiting places on the Isle of Man, that kind of thing. So it's a reasonably wide niche, but that's the niche. And if you don't mess around with that then the algorithm just catches you out. Thanks for joining me if you're watching at the moment. So my name is the Reverend Simon Archer. I am also known as the Isle of Man Vicar. I'm the priest in charge, hopefully soon to be vicar of the parish of Arbury and Castletown. So you're welcome to sort of just jump in the chat and say hi. You don't have to. I used to when I was streaming, I could have anywhere. The most people I had watching was about, well, strictly speaking, it's more than that. But most people I had on a normal stream was about 500. So there's quite a lot of people watching at one time, which is amazing. And that's because I got what we call a raid. So a load of people came from another channel to watch. But I have also had one where I was doing a special stream for a company called Bethesda. And Bethesda are like a gaming studio. They make games. And on that stream, where I was playing a game which was called Doom Eternal. And they wanted me on it because I'm a priest, and it was about sending demons back to hell. And I thought that would be cool if we could find a priest who plays video games. And they Googled, and up I came. So I ended up doing that. And that I did like an interview for an hour, and it had in that hour it had 110,000 views. And it was about a concurrent viewers, the highest concurrent viewers was about 20,000. It was one of the biggest streams. It was done at this thing they do called QuakeCon, which is like a conference-y type, like Comic-Con time of that sort of thing. And so, there was a load of people on that watching that 20,000 at a time, crazy numbers. But it was on their channel, so it didn't really do anything for me as such. But yeah, that was a good time. Been having some fun times. Had a lovely day today. Just walked down to the front. Castletown is beautiful. I don't know if anyone here watching might be from the Isle of Man. If you're not, you could ask about the Isle of Man if you want to. If you're from the Isle of Man, where do you live? Whereabouts you're from? Castletown, I love Castletown, but we talk all the time because we're getting to that age now. So I am 50 years old, and often talk about things like where we're going to retire. Let me just a quick check on sound. I'll just do a quick sound check. Just a second. Where we're going to retire. Let me just a quick check on sound. Yeah, I was checking on the music sound because I just want to make sure that I wasn't overpowering everything with the music, but it seems all right. Oh, talking. Right. I could probably take it up a bit. It's just so there's some kind of background noise when I'm not talking. So I've got quite a setup here. So I've got like 3 screens here. I've got 2 in portrait, 1 in landscape. So what I needed, this is when I used to stream, you see. So I'd have my gaming screen that I'd have up. Then I'd have my screen with my streaming software on there and some information and stuff. Then over here I'd have like chat and chat and other bits and bobs going on, and my sort of equalizer, if you like, so my control panel for sound and audio going on there as well, and other bits and bobs. But I also have my Mac running. When I first came to the island, the internet here was so poor that I couldn't do much with it. So I tried a couple of streams, but it was still copper, so it was broadband, but just about. But they put fibre in now, so it's a little bit better. It's a lot better. I can do it without it going, your connection's struggling. So now I've got stuff running on currently 4 screens and my iPad, so 5 screens. Terrible, isn't it? I could say my phone's another screen, but I'm not really doing anything much with that at the moment. So we moved. In fact, is it today or tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow. We'll have been on the Isle of Man 2 years. 2 years. And still absolutely love it here. It's a really amazing place. Bit of a well-kept secret, if I'm absolutely honest. It's an interesting place because a lot of people here there's some people here who complain about it all the time. They're allowed to. Perhaps they've grown up here and they've lived here all their life, or they've been here a long time. So I get that. But it amazes me because having lived in southeast London or greater, I always try and make sure I make it clear it was Greater London, so within the M25, but definitely Greater London, not right in the centre of London or anything like that. But it was pretty built up and had all the London stuff going on in it. And so we've lived in London. I've lived in Oxfordshire, rural Oxfordshire. We've lived on a place called the Isle of Grain, which is a little peninsula in the Thames. But I kind of grew up in a place called Rainham in Kent, in southeast England, and that was fine. I go back there now, and that's completely changed. So I get how it makes people feel about all the change that they've seen happen over the years. And I go back to Rainham in Kent, and it's just some of the places I used to ride my Striker, my bike. They're all housing estates now, and lots of house building going on. I get the changes that happen. One of the places we used to go to a boot fair, massive boot fair, down in this huge field, farmer's field or whatever it was, and that's now a housing estate. And you just kind of go, wow, they've really built up. It's all flats and houses and retirement homes. That's it. But the shops and stuff haven't changed. There's still the same amount of shops, really. I don't think there's any more doctors' surgeries. So there's all these people moved into the area. So I don't recognise my hometown. So I get how it feels. But I come here to the Isle of Man, and it's crazy. It's really beautiful. It's I can walk down and be by the sea. I could literally walk down 5 minutes down the road and be on the harbour, or walk along the beach. You know, it's a beautiful place. You know, I went out today, so our lifestyle's completely changed. I mean, they say, oh, it's a slower pace over here. That's all I got when I was interviewing and stuff like that. It was like, oh, it's a slower pace. You'll find it's a slower pace. It's hard to get stuff done, as in, I've been trying to get my car fixed for like 2.5 months, and that's still not fixed. So things do move slowly in some ways, and stuff from Amazon takes a couple of extra days to get here, and Royal Mail and stuff, but it's fine. Yeah, slower pace does not mean I slow down for some reason. I'm just as busy as I've ever been, and perhaps probably a little bit busy. I'm working on a project at the moment which could be nearly £500,000, of spending the Church of England's money. So I've got a kind of an application type thing going in at the moment. I put in a project proposal, and a lot of work, because pretty much I've done all the work, and for a £500,000 project, it takes a lot of doing, and you're then also doing all the weddings, funerals, baptisms, taking the Sunday services, writing sermons, doing all that sort of business as well. So constantly busy. I mean, I go out and I meet people, I have coffee with people, I visit people at home, I visit the care home, take services out to the care home, visit the hospital occasionally. Not too much at the moment, he says. Just pray that I don't get anything that comes through now, but I kind of occasional visits to hospital, sometimes end of life stuff at hospice and stuff. So and then we've got a toddler group, we've got an AA group, and just kind of working in other stuff. As a priest on the Isle of Man, you generally have more than one hat. So I'm the priest in charge of the parish of Arbury and Castletown, but I'm also on the Diocesan Board of Finance Committee. I'm on the Church Commissioners Committee, on a Vacancy and Seed Committee, and in the Diocesan Property Board of Diocesan. I don't know what it is. It's like a subcommittee of the Church Commissioners, I think. So I'm like 4 committees, 2 churches, a massive project, and I'm quite a busy priest. So I don't sit in this office very much. It's my least favourite place to be. So I quite often, if I've got some time this afternoon, I'll go grab a coffee out, and I guarantee I won't get through the square without meeting someone and talking to someone. And that's that presence ministry that's really important. One of the reasons I do kind of the online stuff is so people. So I produce videos on YouTube, and I turn the long form videos into clips that I put onto. They're really awful clips because it's made by AI, but I haven't got the time to work through and make clips. I just haven't. So AI generated clips from my YouTube long form content that I put on TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, X. They go on X as well, and literally flood everything. But what happens is I end up with good conversations with people. So I've met people in Tesco's who go, "Oh, you're the Isle of Man Vicar," and we'll have a little chat. And it's amazing what comes out there. I have conversations which I won't go into details, like particular details, but I've had people who've come to me who've had bereavement and struggling with grief, mental health, well-being in general. Maybe they've got a member of the family who hasn't seen someone for a while and would like a visit. So that's someone who's stuck at home, a parent or grandparent. Or I'll just go in and harass my local barber, Connor, or that sort of thing. So I'll go around and visit people, and it's good fun. It's good fun. So that's what I like to do in my free time, rather than sit at my desk. I try and get my sermons knocked out in sort of half a day if I can. Sermons take more than you think. So a sermon is, and you know what a sermon is. So I'm talking about the readings of the day in Scripture, whatever those readings might be, or it might be a particular topic. So a sermon is a completely new piece of writing. Hey, how you, Wendy? How you doing? Nice to see you. So sermons are reflections on scripture. They're teaching. They might be getting a particular point across, but it's communication relating to that scripture. And the thing with it is, you're kind of trying to write something fresh, because we talk about scripture like the living word. So it's always alive. So it's always influenced by it. Obviously, you have scripture, tradition, and experience. And so you're always looking for something kind of true, but perhaps sometimes new to say, something fresh. And there's always something, because it's so easy to find new stuff to say. But the thing with it is, you kind of, if you wanted to, you could spend days writing, because what's a normal sermon for me is probably about 1,500 words, so 1,500 words. Now, I remember writing essays, which a normal essay for college was 2,500. I've been outside searching for not camping sites. You've inspired me to scale. Oh, good for you. Love that. Love that. Go for it. Absolutely go for it. Nothing like it. I can always send you to some interesting spots. We've got a really good one. That's not too difficult to get to. That's the main thing. It's finding stuff that's reasonable to get to. I'm not into hiking for 20 miles to get to. Although I could do a few miles definitely, but yeah, there's some good spots. You've been hunting. I do that a lot, so I do recce's. So I look at do a couple of recce's to find some spaces. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, it's like 1,500 words and 2,500 words an essay. I might have to write 2 sermons a week. So I might have a normal sermon for a Sunday service. I've got 2 very different styles of services, like where BCP was a very traditional service, BCP, Book of Common Prayer, and I might style it slightly differently to like a community worship service down at the other church. So when you do that, you might write 2 sermons. I might also have a baptism, so I need to write a sermon for a baptism. That won't be 1,500 words, but it'll be 800 to 1,000 words maybe. I think of that about 5-6 minutes. It's not actually that long. And then I might have a funeral, so I'll be writing a sermon for a funeral. So you might write, and that would probably be similar 1,500 words. So you're talking about sort of a 10-minute talk. And so you might write 3 sermons in a week. So I might have written completely fresh 3,000 to 4,000 words in a week. Maybe 5. Christmas time gets crazy like that as well. So yeah, it's not quite as simple as you might think to kind of get this stuff done. So if I can, I might have to spread them out a bit, but I quite often I'll spend Monday's my rest day. So, but I quite often read on the Monday. I'll read the scripture for the coming weekend on the Monday, Tuesday. So it's sitting with me. So I'm kind of thinking about what's coming up, and kind of linking it into my experiences of the week and what's happening. But I quite often won't write the sermon until Friday or Saturday. Try to do Friday. Try to at least get some stuff down before then, Thursday, Friday. But you might spend the equivalent easy of half a day. My sermon for tomorrow is 1,600 ish words. Yeah, it's about right, isn't it? I mean, that gives you kind of a good 10 to 12 minute sermon, depending on your pace. You can slow it right down, and actually it's really good to slow it down. But it's like, yeah, like so Wendy ministers in a few places, but particularly Russian, and another preacher, and so understands that preparation takes time. And if you kind of sit down on a Saturday night, I promise you I've done this before. I've sat down and sort of, I must get this sermon written, and I've been faffing about and procrastinating, and it gets to like 9 o'clock, and you go, right, got to get this written, and then you get a phone call, and then you got to go to the hospital, and then you get in from the hospital at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then you've got to write your sermon for the next day, or you got to get up at 6 o'clock to get it written, and that causes all sorts of stress. So I always try to have something in mind. I can preach without notes, and I can preach without, but it's better. I've written this one several times. Yeah, that's another one that happens, isn't it? You get a sermon written down, and you go, what happened to? I've torn up a sermon on a Saturday evening. You write this sermon, and then something major happens in the world, and you go, I've got to talk about this, and it always fits in with the scripture as well, and you just go, I've got to start again. So it does happen. You can either go in and change whole sections of it. You're not happy with it. One of the things I'm happy doing though is I like to have that kind of anchor of having that safety net, of having like a bit of a script, a bit of a bullet points and stuff written down. But I'm quite happy of going off topic and going on the fly. If I feel led by the Spirit to do something a bit different, I'll just go in and say whatever needs to be said. And I'm known for my going off on tangents. I could talk for 10 minutes at the start. Look at me now. Well, I don't even know how long we've been going. 35 minutes. I've been talking for 35 minutes. Easy peasy. And when I did my 3-part on YouTube recently, and I did like it was about a 5.5 hour walk because I took it easy. It was a slow walk. I was just strolling around from Port Erin through to the Sound, through to Port St Mary, and then on to Castletown. So it kind of really fitted into 3 parts. But it was about nearly 6 hours in total, the whole video, once I've put it together. And I do it like almost like a live walk, so I don't edit it down much. And I talked for pretty much until the voice got a bit dry, and so I talked pretty much for 6 hours. So it goes to show, and it's weird because, you know, I quite like my peace and my silence, and I'm a bit of an introvert, and no one would believe it. And they'll go, "Oh, you can't be an introvert. You know, you're on here, you're doing live stuff, you make videos, you stand up in front of a church, you give talks, you do all that sort of business. You can't be an introvert. You've got to understand what it takes out of you." It's why I kind of the live streaming before was quite tough, because I'd come out of it exhausted because I've been talking for like 4 hours each time, 3 nights a week, and chatting to people, and it's great. I love doing it. I love people, and I love talking to people. I love hearing stories. But there's times when it's just like you go, "Oh, I just need my silence." And Tash knows me now, my wife, and it's like I'll get in from church, and she says, "You going to your study?" And I'll go, "Yeah." And she'll go, "I'll see in a bit." Do a cuppa, and it would just leave me to it to kind of recover a bit. And that's why if it's a busy day, so I might have 2 services, 3 services potentially in the morning, and it might have a baptism after that, would be number 4, and then perhaps there's an evening service somewhere or something. I've had that before, where I've had 5, 6 services and 5 services in a Sunday, and that after that I'm spent, because as an introvert you kind of it's wearing to do all that talking and being at the front and being sort of in the middle of things. I was going to say the focus, because I check myself, because the focus in the service is Jesus, but of worshiping God. But hey, you know that people are looking at you when you're talking, and they're hopefully listening to your sermons. So you are, and you talk to people after the service and before the service, and there's always stuff that comes up. So it's never quite straightforward. It's never like you walk in the door, you get your robes on, and you go up there, do the service, and you head out again. It's usually just beforehand. Someone says, "Oh, lights aren't working, heating's broken. Oh, someone's vandalised this, or there's a window broken, or we had a window fall through." That's a bit of a story, but St Mary's Church, we had a storm at the beginning of the year. One of the glass skylights we had, we found it all smashed and broken, and rain pouring through because it was a storm in one of our churches. We cleared it up, and we're like, "Oh my God, how did that happen?" When we went outside, there was this cross that was on the side of the church, and it was like a kind of it made out of ply. It was painted gold, and it looked quite nice, but it'd fallen off the wall. So don't read anything into that, but it had fallen off the wall, and it just dropped and smashed through the skylight. We still haven't replaced it yet, because kind of looking at different things that we can do, but because you could say, "Oh, it's a sign. It's a sign. It's smashing through the skylight of the church. You know, the cross. It's like something out of Damien, but like the Omen or something." But no, it was just one of those things. But there was something in that we thought we needed to probably change it. It was starting to, like ply does sometimes. Like even if it's marine ply, it's painted. It starts to, water gets into it, starts to lose its strength, and it's looking a bit shabby when you got up close. But we've got this new kind of design. You won't be able to see it, I don't think. Oh, dog's barking. Must be someone walking past the house. I don't know if you'll be able to see this design, but it'll be the crosses. The kind of, let's have a look. See if we can get that. So you get that. With the reading from that bit from Scripture. Come and see John 1:46. But those purple crosses you see there, it's kind of like a kind of cool design that we're working with the Branding a church, eh? My background is not marketing or anything like that, but I used to work for Apple, so I know that brand is important, and actually I think to be recognisable as a church, it's quite a useful thing. So we're kind of getting an idea of what we want to do with that, and see if we can produce those sort of 3 crosses up on the side of the building where the old cross was. But we'll need to get all sorts of permissions to do that, but we'll give it a go. Along with some other stuff we're up to at the moment. So working on a big project called The Upper Room, and that's going to be part of all that kind of the idea of really standing out as a church, but being not necessarily standing out, but going out as well. So we want people to know where we are, but we also want to go to where they are. So we're opening up the church to all sorts of stuff at the moment. Been speaking to some other. So we already have, like I said before, which you probably went on the stream for, but we've got an AA group, a toddler group, and we have local heritage group that meets in our building as well at St Mary's. But we're looking to expand that. We've got working on a wellbeing cafe. We're working with a partner with that, so we're going to hopefully start getting the volunteers together and potentially the training together and get that started even before we've done the work. But we can convert upstairs. We've got 2 floors in this building, and upstairs we're going to convert to turn into a wellbeing cafe, another place of worship. So we're going to have a plant, another church within the church. So it's going to be like a church plant, like a congregational plant, if you like, upstairs. Same building, different kind of worship. So we're looking to do that. It's going to be hard to put together because I come from a certain tradition, and the tradition I want to put, the kind of style I want to put in there, and tradition I want to put in there isn't necessarily my style, or that not one that I'm used to. So it's going to be a bit, Colin, mate, Cole, it's nice to hear from you. Thank you so much for supporting so much recently. So if anyone's in here, The Unstoppables, is another channel, and I've been looking at a bit of their stuff, but popped over recently to the Isle of Man. Very nice things said about the Isle of Man. I think Cole's been over here before a few times, but is it Max you brought over? I can't remember now. But your friend, you brought him over, and they've got a video up on YouTube. They're all their experiences of traveling around the island. It's so nice. Something I love to watch is people coming over here and their experiences of it. I saw I can't remember the name of the channel now, but I saw a group of young lads come over here, and they had all their expectations. People were saying they're on social media, and they couldn't believe the sort of things people were saying about the Isle of Man, because it was like they were going, "This is great here. It's fantastic." They went to see the motor museum. They went out on a few nights out down. What's it called? There's that Australian bar down, isn't there? But they went to a few places, and they just came back going, "We love it here. I think it's brilliant." And they had like a camper van that they took, and similar to Cole. Good stuff. I'm glad you enjoyed it here. Anyway, hopefully you'll be back at some point. So trying to bring him back for the TT, aren't you? Yeah. Even a charity day in Peel when we dressed as ladies. I saw the pictures. I didn't want to ask anything, but yeah, I saw a bit of the Peel stuff. That was great. Got all dressed up for it. Yeah, some interesting pictures. You're very fetching in your dresses. It was very. Just someone have. Was it you or Max who had like a feather boa? That's great stuff. Good stuff. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, there's another channel there. Definitely worth a look. Yeah, love seeing stuff about the island. So one of the things I did when I research anything, but when we think about coming here, is we watched a load of YouTube videos of people who visited to kind of find out what they. And there was one called "Life Is Too Short," and we used to know it as the Little Red Camper, but they haven't got a Little Red Camper anymore. They changed it over, and they did a whole series on the island, and we were like going, "Oh, this looks amazing!" And they had all the kind of the bad weather, the good weather, and everything like that. So it's good to see people coming over here. And the great thing about YouTube, so one of the things I think it has been done, so they've had a load of influencers, if you like. They did that. They brought a load over to write articles, to like travel influencers, journalists, and that sort of thing, to go around the island, and they got to experience a load of stuff. And I think that does more these days for the island than paying for ads and stuff. It's just people do their research on Google and YouTube, you know. So the more people we get over here, the more people say nice things, the better the tourism will be, the more money that comes in. And we also want to, well, they want to grow the population. I can't see it happening particularly because you get a few people in, you get a few people out. I think they've been aiming for like 15,000. See, I don't think that's a 10-year plan, but I think last year, like 500 came and 300 left. So it's like they've got 200. I don't think it's going to. I don't think they're going to hit that 15,000 target at that rate. So perhaps we should keep the place a bit better secret anyway. We quite like it as is. But yeah, you do need some more workers coming over and stuff. And I know some of the employers are really struggling to get the staff they need. We've got a very low unemployment rate over here, but people do complain about the cost of living. But I lived in Southeast London, and it's cheaper to live here than it is there. And people won't, they're kind of not, they struggle to accept that. But my bills were through the roof, and even rentals over here. So people complain about, I learned something new about the rental market over here, which really threw me. Because my daughter's looking to get up. She's got a place at the moment now. Amazing place it is. But she was looking for a new place. And I found out, just read it something on Reddit, probably did read it on Reddit, about how the rents over here generally include the rates, and so that's like your council tax. So you're not paying council tax, and the rates include water, so you're not paying a separate water bill. And water bills have been going up, so people who used to pay 20 quid a month, it's now 40 quid, 60 quid, 80 quid a month. I get people pay more than that. But so, you know, you take off the council tax, which is probably a couple £100 a month, you know, suddenly it's £300. So these rents, which seem extortionate at £900, are actually really £600 because if you make the comparison. And we had just one bedroom places, rents going for easy £1,000, where I was in Greater London. So it wasn't right in London. You still need to commute in, but yeah, so I don't think it's that bad. So people looking to rent here, the biggest problem with rentals and houses at the moment is the lack of stock. So people can't find a rental, and also the people renting can be quite difficult. Not understandably, it's their property, it's their investment, and so many of them won't allow pets, and some of them won't even allow children. Great channel that. They're very funny without knowing it, maybe. Oh yeah. I used to find them just like their voice is quite calm, and they're kind of quite yeah, it's a good one. It's good. It's a good channel. I quite enjoy it myself. But that's that. Life is too short. But there's some good stuff out there. I watch quite. So I watch things like Kent Survival, Paul Messner, Stephen J. Reid. REID. He's Irish, and he's a real filmmaker, and he does a lot of he does trail running and sort of wild camping, which is more my sort of thing, the wild camping stuff. Paul Messer's wild camping, generally speaking, as well, and a bit of hiking. And Kent Survival is bushcraft mainly, so he camps in like just sets of woods. He can often drives there, but a bit different. But Kent Survival is a kind of local lad to where I used to live, so love that. But yeah, there's some really good channels out there. I just find some I watch just find it really interesting, what gear they're using, what they do with their time when they're visiting places, how they pick their sites, you know, what camping equipment and hiking equipment they use, and all that sort of business. Stephen J. Reid is much more like a documentary. You can watch some stuff that he does, and it's just ridiculous. It's awesome. He will watch. He'll make like a whole piece about a place he's visited, and tell all the history of it and everything like that. It's just ridiculous. Really good. Be good listening. Must get to bed. Oh, good night, mate. See you later, Wendy. Yeah. Oh, so if you're in here and you haven't already, you might well have already discovered my channel. This is my first live I've done on here, but if you give the channel a sub, that would be great. So you can press the subscribe button, and then you'll see anything that I do. And also, I mean, you can leave the notifications on if you like. If it gets annoying, I apologise. But if I go live again, you'll get a little notification to say I've gone live. So that's always worth jumping onto and giving it a bit of a sub. and you can like videos. That always helps as well. Patrick Dickinson does a great channel with camping, cooking, and info gear. Okay, great. Thanks. Love recommendations. I'm kind of a bit stuck at the moment, so I'm glad you're doing that actually, because I've obviously subbed to yours, but I like the new stuff. I will probably go through some of the old videos and things, but I've really struggled to find some. Trey, hi Simon, really enjoy your videos. Hello from fellow local outdoor enthusiast. Hello, mate. Local outdoor enthusiast, Treg. Hey, mate, nice to hear from you. Thank you very much as well. I want to look now. I want to see if do you have a channel where you got stuff? Go to channel. Hey, excellent. Motoring nerd, explorer of dark wet holes. You sound a bit like me, like cars. Excellent. Okay, a year ago is the last. No, when's your last video? 8 months ago. Honda Civic, Isle of Man TT course. Nice. Good to know you're local. D3 breakdown. Oh. I got. You'll appreciate my pain at the moment, Trek. So I got a Honda CRV Mark One, and I love old classic cars. I love old motors. Really, really great. But you'll probably know this. Finding a mechanic on the Isle of Man can be hard work, and there's some good S&S motors around the corner for me in Castletown, really, really good, but always booked in miles in advance. And I found a really good, actually I'm not going to mention their name, but I found a good mobile mechanic, really nice guy, got him really good sense of humour, we got on great, really got what I wanted to do, and then I had the power steering pipe blow on the Honda CRV. And he got the part, it broke down just before TT. He got the part, just came after TT. And now it's been like 2 months and it's still not, he's not got round to fixing it. It needs towing now, apparently, because they can't fix it in the car. It's in one of my church's car parks, but I'm really stuck to get it fixed. And he's kind of, I've given up with him and I've asked for the key back. He's got one of my keys. And I'm just try and find another mechanic, but it's a nightmare. But yeah, 4x4. It's so easy to get around to places when you're camping out and stuff, to get down some of these tracks. Erie Stain, that track that goes down Erie Stain, is a nightmare. Shadow, nice to hear from you, mate. I hope you're doing well. Shadow 7, what's your favourite part of the Isle of Man for going for a walk? I love Port Erin, going from the breakwater up to Mills Tower. Just lived on the island to do it daily. Move here. It's the easy answer, isn't it? Move here. If you love it, come here. Move here. Port Erin, going from the breakwater to Mills Tower. I've done the walk up to Mills Tower. I always do a brew somewhere. I actually sat on with my back to Mills Tower while I made a brew. So I've got a video, Port Erin one. I've done that on. It's lovely, beautiful views, amazing looking down the coast. It's so striking. I know it's kind of, everything's in a bit more miniature, but you look down the coast, it's not quite like the massive cliffs in Ireland, but it is like that. And you look down, and it's you're looking out to sea, and you've got the cliffs, and it's a great view for Milner's Tower Way. And obviously you can walk up there, and you can go all the way up to Erie Stain, and then along to Niarbyl and Trevane, White Beach. But what's my favourite walk? I quite like the bit from the Sound to Port St Mary so far. I haven't done many of the glens yet, but that bit of my long walk that I did from Port Erin all the way around the coast to back to Castletown was a really nice walk. But the section of it I really liked, because you go up past the chasms, and is that Sound? Is it Sound and then onto the chasms? Yes, it is. So Sound, and you're going round. You go up to Spanish Head and the chasms and all around that way. And there's just some beautiful, beautiful walks, and you're just up high. And on a good day, it's nothing quite like that. But then I haven't seen half the island, 99% of the island, I'd say at the moment. It's going to take me 2 years to see what I have so far. I imagine it's going to take me 20, 30 years to see as much as I want to see. Doon Glen's open back up. You got a Honda CR-V mainly as a dog. Yeah, can be car. I'll send you a message with a great local mechanic for Hondas. Oh man, please do. I would be forever. Oh, that's just there. See, local people, amazing over here. I can't honestly. It's always the people that you meet. There's always someone who knows someone because it's that close a community around here. Thank you very much. I kind of got it as a bit of a project car. So it's obviously year 2000. It's old. It's gold. It's got rust spots on it. Underneath isn't too bad. It's not too rusty. I'm just so worried it's sat there for 2.5 months. It's going to seize up. But yeah, it's just fitting that pipe. And he said he couldn't do it without getting it up on a ramp. So it needs to be towed. And he said it's taken 2.5 weeks to get a tow, and he's not had a reply from his towing company. So if you know a mechanic who might be able to do the job, send us a message. Hopefully it won't be the same person as I was using before. But I'm in Castletown, and it probably needs to go somewhere. But yeah, the world's best photo featuring Milner's Tower on Bradderhead, Isle of Man, was actually the first prize winner. I've seen it. Absolutely. Don't think the photographer was from the Isle of Man, though, were they? I think they'd come over here to do it. But I've seen that as well, yeah. It's amazing shot. And Milner's Tower's got some great history as well. So the guy who built Milner's Tower, he was made safes, fireproof safes, and he made his fortune in that. And so he built that, and we saw something else he put his money into. Was it one of the churches or some building? He built something, and it was like, I can't remember now, but it was some building that we're going, I made this. Great cars, those COVs. We need to keep the mallet, keep them alive. Yeah. See, I must admit, I was looking at cars today. The winning photograph taken by CW Powell depicted Milner's Tower and won in £4,000. That's a heck of a prize. In those times, that's a heck of a prize. I want to keep the CV going. Do you know what? It's a joy because it's just so simple a car, you know, in real terms. I serviced this is going to be really exciting for people watching, but I serviced the rear diff because it had the squeak when you put it on full lock, and it wasn't kicking. When it kicked in, it was like making a noise. I knew I needed to service the rear diff second I got it, so I did that straight away, and with the proper oil from I can't remember what I used, but there's a Honda group, and they recommended this place that sells the proper parts and stuff. And I got some of the proper Honda rear diff oil, did it, and it works great now, absolutely perfect. So it's got that extra grip, and I've taken it along up the Point of Ayre, up the north of the island, down north, and along to the left of the light. You go past the lighthouse on the right, and then you go left, and you can go along the track that goes away along the front. You probably know it, and it's perfect because some bits are quite sandy, especially the wind's been blowing, and you can go through that sand no problem. If it slips a bit, it picks up, and I keep like recovery boards in the back and stuff. But it was my camping car. It was my to do car camps in and stuff. So I'd love to get it sorted. He also built the cottages. That was what we were talking about. Yeah. Right. Yeah, Cole, you're absolutely right. So it was because it came up that what they're going to do with the cottages at the front of Port Erin, because they're talking about, well, they've not got tenants in them. But I read a bit of that history. I don't know if you saw the article. I think it was on Isle of Man today. And usually a lot of the papers over here are clickbait kind of, let's talk about migrants or something like that. And wherever your opinion on that, doesn't matter. You know what I'm talking about. Let's kind of provoke some racism and some intolerance and some nastiness about something or other. And they can be a bit like that. But there was an article in there, I'm sure it's Isle of Man today, about the cottages at the front of Port Erin, which he did buy. And it was because he gave them to the church, and then some of the rent would go to the church, a little bit of it, and the rest would be distributed among the poor. And then the church couldn't maintain, too many problems with them, and had to give them to the commissioners or the government, bought them off them. A lot of the problems with this sewage, because they're right on the level of the kind of the sea level, and so they had problems with like getting the sewage out of the buildings and all sorts, and they had rock falls at the back and all sorts. But they're just the best positioned cottages you could imagine. There's actually a road that goes along the front of them, and you cross over the road, and they've got a front garden, and quite often they have steps going down to the beach or a ladder going down to the beach. They're like in the bed. I'd so absolutely have one of those cottages if you offered it to me. I don't care where the sewage goes. I'd poop in a bucket if it meant, and take it somewhere. If it meant I could live in a position like that at Port Erin, beautiful, with a garden out the front that you could sit out there looking out to sea. So the Honda dual pump. So I fixed all the other issues with it. It's had a full service. I'm trying to make it a bit of a soft roader, if I'm absolutely honest, which is a bit cliched, but they're good cars for it. So I was looking at putting some Cooper ATs on it, like they're all-terrain tyres. and doing some work to it, and just kind of playing about with it, practicing things like sorting out the rust on the bodywork, and it needs like, I think, two, probably three window regulators, but like picking up the parts and fixing it up and doing all that sort of business, because it drives brilliantly, and the interior is mint, absolute, like it's perfect. The guy who owned it beforehand was an aviation engineer. He used to travel all around Europe in it, so it's got a few miles on it, but I knew it had been looked after, and the brakes had been done, and all this sort of stuff had been done. It was great, and then, but I did know there was corrosion on the power steering pipe, and trouble is it's split at a bend, so it can't be like put a sheath around it and kind of fix it like that. It needs to be replaced. Guy got the part 2 months later, still not fixed. So St Catherine's Church, Port Erin, and yes, those old fishermen's cottages, yeah, they were there for like poor tenants or something. It might be there for fishermen's cottages, but they're beautiful. They're just, and you can't get that sort of position. I imagine what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen, isn't it? They're going to be condemned, and then they'll be pulled down, and then they'll put some property. They'll sell the land off, or they'll sell the properties off for people to turn into £600,000-700,000 houses on the front, perhaps a couple of them or something, because it's all going to be, say location. That front at Port Erin, with the Cozy Nook Cafe down the front, lovely beach right in front of you, good little town, big Tesco's up the road. That's just going to do wonders, isn't it? Do you know the outdoor pool in Port Erin was never restored and just left to go? I hate that. Shadow 7, that's just like, it really annoys me, because can you imagine? Look, first of all, it probably got to a point where it wasn't being used and all the rest of it. But you know what the thing is these days? People go outdoor swimming, wild swimming, sea swimming, all sorts of stuff like that. There's whole groups. You've got the Blue Tits over here that do that. Don't know why they get that name. But you've got all these groups that do wild swimming. Can you imagine an outdoor pool like that now? It would do wonders. But was left to go to Rackham. I haven't been in there. I've heard from some kids who have. But I have taken my drone, taken some video of it a little bit, just to kind of have a look. I'll probably take it there again now I'm a bit more used to it. Yeah, have a look. But it's such a shame, because can you imagine just like this outdoor pool with a dive in, and it would be amazing. It would be fantastic, and it would be so popular. I think it would get a lot of people in there. I think you would. I can imagine it anyway. Do I know why? Oh, sorry, mate. Actually, you said, do I know why it was left to go to? I don't know. I'd imagine it was like a lot of stuff just stopped getting used. People got a bit used to it being there, or local commissioners, whoever owned it, ran it, just when it's too much money to fix this or fix that. There's usually a big bill that comes along. It's a bit like when some churches close. I mean, we sold off a building in Castletown, which I'd love to have back if we could fill it. We're starting to grow our churches, so we are growing. So I'd like to see us grow to the stage where we outgrow our church, if you like. And if we were to do that, I'd love to get it back. But the Garrison Church, which is the big white church at the front in Castletown, brilliant position. But that just got too expensive to run and keep going. So it was, unfortunately, it was never practical to repair the roof. I did hear there's some dodgy stuff about the roof repair as well. But I'd love to have that back, but it's probably so much money. I am worried that it's been made into offices, and I worry that the offices have nobody in them virtually, and I just wonder whether the idea will be not viable as offices, so then they can turn that into more housing. But that's possible. I recently discovered old St Ruinus Church. Yeah, what a little ancient gem that is. Open anytime. Not sure if you've been. Well worth a visit. Have I been to St Ruinus? I'm not sure I have. I'll double check that, because I've been to so many churches over here. It's like Mackhold. That's a lovely one. St Peter's in Cregnish. It's not open all the time, but that's a lovely church. Go to one of my churches. So all through the daytime, Arbury Church is open, and you've got the grave of Captain Quilliam there. And just outside, and there's and it's open every day one of the locals opens it in the morning, another one closes it in the evening. It's brilliant. Church is supposed to sit and drink during the TT. The people are so friendly. Yeah. They really are good places to take care of you. And that's some of the churches. That's keeps them going for the year. Keeps the lights on, keeps the heating on. So it's really cool. Up above Crosby. Oh, it's up that way. Why was I up Crosby? Because I went to the show, I think. I went to the Manx, the Royal Manx show, and I'm sure I saw the sign for Crosby. So yeah, okay, up Ellerslie. I'll find it. But yeah, visiting the churches on the island, I love doing that. It's a bit of a busman's holiday. I'm off at the moment, so if you're wondering why I'm not getting ready for my Sunday service, it's because I'm not taking the Sunday service tomorrow. I'm planning myself. I'm probably going to go to try and get up to St Paul's at Ramsey, which is a long way to go for a morning service, but it's at 11 o'clock, and I like Ramsey and I like a drive, so I'm borrowing the wife's car because that's all I'm using. I've borrowed a car for 10 days. Wendy, who was on here earlier, lent me her car for a while while they were away, but I need to get that car sorted because I'm also getting tempted to buy something else, but I really don't want to be doing that. I haven't got the money for it. I've got the money to repair the car, but to buy another, I don't want to get another banger particularly, and I'm getting tempted by slightly newer cars, which means probably getting out the old Conister bank loan or whatever to get it. But there we go. So I'll definitely check out St Marinus and get a couple of places that people are mentioning that I'll definitely go and have a look at. It would be great to see it restored, especially with Port Erin having more people. Paddleboarding, kayak, exactly that. Spending time on the beach, people loving the outdoors, people getting into like this kind of the healthiness of going out and swimming in ice cold water. I think the outdoor Lido or whatever it was, the seawater pool up there in Port Erin. Can you imagine? It's one of those things I think about. Do you know when you do the thing? If I won the lottery, I'd have to buy a ticket first. But if I won the lottery, it would be like a place I'd love to get hold of and pay for the full restoration so it could be used again. And that would make it. That would be just an amazing place to go swimming and stuff. Because you feel a little bit safer than being at sea, but you still got that cold freshwater or seawater swimming experience. Outdoor. So we had a place in near me in Gillingham called the Strand, and the Strand had a Lido, and that for years was just empty. I think we used it a few times to do like canoeing practice or something, but it's fallen apart, rotting away. And they completely refurbished it, and it's really popular now. Anybody who's in the stream at the moment and thinking about saying hello, again, I'll do my introductions. My name's the Reverend Simon Archer. I'm the priest in charge of the parish of Arbury and Castletown on the Isle of Man. I'm also known as the Isle of Man Vicar, which is what you're watching me on at the moment. So I do videos of like hikes and walks and wild camping and some visits I do to certain places. So what I do appreciate is if you're in here and you haven't already, if you could just click on that sub button to the channel. And if you can like any of the videos that you watch, that'd be great as well. It really helps me out. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Nobody has to, but it really can help me out. Yeah, there's lots we could do, isn't there, to kind of improve things. I think we're at that dangerous point where things are quite tired at the moment and stuff needs to have a little bit of a kick, a little bit of an cash injection, and a little bit of a... even today, someone else took a picture of it, but the bus shelter in Castletown, the one opposite the co-op, over the road from the co-op, it's a really nice old bus stop. But the paint peeling off it, it's obviously all scratched up and stuff, and some of that's kids, and some of that is just it's peeling and it's old, and it's like cast iron. Just needs a clean up and a coat of paint. It wouldn't even take that long to do. I could probably do it myself. I know you go, oh, we'll do it then, but really, I don't think I probably wouldn't be allowed to. I wouldn't be assured to. But yeah, just clean it up, jet wash it off, even for starters, get the moss off the roof, and then undercoat it and give it a coat of paint. Even if it's over the top of the old paint, don't have to strip it back. Just give it a good overcoat of paint, and that bus stop will last a bit longer and it'll look a lot better. And it'll be a bit of especially for people travelling to or from Castletown, visitors and tourists and stuff, just to see this being looked after. Because the square's looking pretty good at the moment. I know people complain about the stone in the square, the slabs, the paving is a little bit slippery at times, in the winter, and it really is. If it gets damp and wet, you do go flying if you're not careful. But generally, the square looks pretty good, and the commissioners, we've got some new commissioners in, and I've moved some of the plastic seating down to the front, which it probably is better suited for, and I put more of the sort of wooden benches out in the square, and it's looking great, and it's well used, and it's doing pretty well this year. But we have had better weather for it. Like, today started off really grim, and then it just got better and better, and really nice and sunny towards the end. Well, that's why I've been going out making the most of it. We've got a gelato place on the front, and that's really cool. We've got where are the places I love? So Just Jenny's in the square for your cakes, alongside Coffee Craft, but Just Jenny makes her own cakes, does coffee as well. I go to Connor in the barber's in the square as well. The square is like so that's Market Square is the actual square, and then you got the square, which is like a kind of a little kind of shopping groups of shops off the square. If that makes any sense, I don't know. And Connor's in there, and you got Diane in there, who runs the gift shop in there. Creedabray, something Creedabray, the gift shop, and Diane's just the loveliest person. Really, just kind, chats to everybody, really helpful. Been toying with the idea of starting a channel where we go and tidy up places that are neglected, especially ones nominated by watchers, mainly litter and simple stuff. The Binfluencer, it's got to have been done. Surely it's been done. I think on the island, I mean, I know the beach buddies get a lot of publicity and stuff, and some stuff like that. But yeah, I've always thought so. So they did some projects in I don't know where, one of the northern cities like Manchester, Liverpool, somewhere like that. And they did some projects where they kind of did up the fronts at like streets, whole streets where they were all looking really tired, and they cleaned up all the fronts of all the houses, redecorated all the fronts, did all the front railings. They had railings at the front, so they fixed them all and painted them all up, and crime reduced and house prices went up. So basically, what they invested in fixing up just the fronts of it increased the value of the street massively and improved the area and encouraged. I think it'd be good. Yeah, I think it is. I think you might need some permissions and stuff. I mean, you could get, you know, what you could do. You could do. I mean, I do wild camping. It's not allowed. I've already been snitched on to the police, but funnily enough, I don't think the police have bothered getting in touch with me. But there's definitely this thing where someone wasn't happy that I was, you know, I'm a priest. I'm not littering the place. I'm not drinking cans of beer and leaving cans about. I've cleared up enough of that sort of stuff in my time. I'm going out there. I'm in a quiet little camp away, and people say, "Oh, there's campsites," but I don't want to stay on campsites, and that's not whining. It's just they're so busy, and kids running around. I've done my bit with the kids and camping. I had a trailer tent. I've had big tents. I've done the camping with the kids. I've done it. It's great, lovely. But now's my time to get a bit of space. I just might need a drink of water, actually. I'm not used to talking for this long. I am. I'm always talking for this long. About an hour and a quarter. But yeah, you could do. What I'm saying is, you could do it without permissions. A bit like when they you know, up north we've got the Legs of Man on the hill, and someone went out and repainted it, and they get. Castle on the Hill by Ed Sheeran. Oh, stop that! No, Alexa, stop. I'm going to turn the microphone off on this and turn the volume down. There you go. That's off before it starts doing stuff. Thank you. God, I don't know. It's my Alexa going off. It's not listening to me anymore. Yeah, you could make a real difference. You might have to go a little bit kind of rogue to do some stuff, but you could just do some little touches. But I think particularly we need it in Castletown because there's a real negativity about in some of the community around Castletown. It's all woe is this place, it's all falling apart. I get comments, you might have even seen some of one of my videos where it was a really old video on Castletown. It's got a couple of thousand views and 2,500, something like that, and Castletown Shops it's called, or something like that, and you get the comments, oh, it looks abandoned and stuff. It's like, it's not at all. But you get people going, oh, it's full, it's never like it used to be, it's all terrible. Blah, blah. Every high street struggles. A little town like square like this is going to struggle with footfall and things, and everyone blames everyone else, and it's all this, and it's the parking and all that. Whatever it is, people have lost a little pride in the area, and we've just had a really nice kind of cafe stroke bar that's opened up called the Earl of Derby. Stanley's restaurant that's opened up, very good. We went to Stanley's, absolutely stunning food, and so it's actually getting better, but people aren't necessarily acknowledging that. But we actually live in a really beautiful town, really beautiful, and unless you've come from a place that I've come from, Southeast London, where literally sofas are dumped on the streets and there's rubbish everywhere and long tails everywhere, and people just, there's nastiness. I can't even describe some of the stuff that gets left around, but the little nitrous bottles, needles, people destroyed stuff. You couldn't go out with it. My kids couldn't have a new bike because they get robbed. Yeah, the Binfluencers t-shirt right there. Yeah, nice. Oh, you get the internet keyboard warriors. You always do. And I don't want to be, because there's going to be people who go, we just remember how it used to be and we want to see it better. But there are other people who just love a little bit of a Facebook rant and to put the area down. And it'd be nice, so something like the Binfluencer thing would absolutely lift the place, because people need to go, yeah, this is good, and take pride in it. And do. So I get a few people online as well. My ex, I'm on X. I don't get into the whole leaving X because of Elon Musk or anything, but I'm on X, and someone was saying, because I was saying how positive it was about the Earl of Derby and revitalisation of the town, and it's the kind of, he's actually quite a nice chap, and he was like, because he appreciates how passionate I am about it, but just saying about how it's not really a revitalisation. I'm going, yeah, but it's good. It's a good thing, It's raising, there's green shoots of it. We need to be positive about it, and it's almost like we need to get together. We've got this as a whole, as a community. We've got a kind of really kind of depressed, negative attitude. And we need that PMA, and it needs to be a community thing that all of our attitudes improve, and so therefore we go out of our way to take care of the place and look after it. Maybe some dog walkers. We got a dog, so before I say that, some dog walkers picking up their poop every now and again would be good. Many do, lots don't. The kind of less rubbish, littering, stuff like that. And just not like the bus stops and like some of the park stuff, and where it gets really tired and old and it's falling apart and it gets dangerous and gets chained off and people can't use it. But yeah, these sort of spaces and places, and just start taking care of it and looking after it and being proud of the town that we've got, because Castletown has got the potential to be the place to come to, especially with some of the restaurants. It's a bit highbrow maybe, but Stanley's wasn't expensive for the two of us to eat, and it was very good food and just such a great atmosphere in there. But there's loads of places like Coffee Craft's great. You got the cafe around the corner at Maloo Street. It begins with V. It's I'm going to say veteran. It's not veteran. It's Vintage Tea Rooms. They're really nice. Gelato places. You've got so many little spots you can go to. It's just a great little town, but it needs a bit of pride and it needs a little bit of positivity, and we lift it up. And then people go, oh, should we go to Castletown? Let's Google it. And then you see they Google it or go on Facebook and see, oh, there's a Castletown chat. Let's have a look at that. And there's people putting the place down and saying how horrible it is and how rotten the young people are and all the rest of it. And I've got young people who live here. My kids live here, and they're not horrible at all. And their friends aren't horrible at all. It's just the minority. And that's the minority of young people and the minority of adults and the minority of older people who give the place a bad name. Just need that kind of have a bit of pride. Pride is the most important thing. Having pride in the place. So anyway, that's my lecture. I'll just step off my soapbox for a moment. If I won the lottery, Simon, I'd be moving to the island as soon as the check cleared. I'd love the island to have more visitors and holidaymakers. It's a great place to fit. It really is. But I mean, obviously, my route to the island was a bit different to most because I'm an ordained priest in the Church of England. So maybe I think my move was it was still complicated with 4 children, one still at university. It was definitely a tricky move in a lot of ways. We lost quite a lot of money in moving here through basically having lots of children and being on a very low income. As a priest, you don't earn a lot. Every penny counts. And we lost, but we took that choice. We knew we were going to lose it, but I'd get child tax credits because I'm a low earner. And that goes out the window because you don't get any benefits for 5 years when you move here. But it was still worth it, and we're still, funnily enough, better off here than we were when we were in the UK. So it isn't, but we did, obviously, when we move here, the house comes with the job, so I had somewhere to move to, and the diocese pay for the removals, which was horrendously expensive. But yeah, it's always possible. Depends on your... The great thing for us, which we didn't realise, is that when we moved here, is that when we get to retirement, I'm putting into the Manx system at the moment, but I've fully paid up in the UK for my pension, if it exists by the time I retire. So and the church pension, they're doing some work on that at the moment, because the church pension went downhill for about 10 years, and the wages went down. It's called a stipend, but the money went down for about 10 years, so we're all a lot worse off, already earning very little. But they're making some improvements next year. But I should have a church pension, a UK pension, and a small Manx pension as well. So I'd probably end up better off when I retire than I am now. I also have a small private pension that I paid into, but not a lot in that. So, but it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth. If you can get away from the, I hate to say it, get away from the UK. Sounds mean, doesn't it? But it's changed. It's changed a lot. It's just not the place it was. It really isn't. And I'm not going to go on about anything to do. I'm not one of these going about migration and immigration and things like that. There's just a whole sense of it just all feeling like it's going downhill a lot. And it's a real shame. And I felt that as someone who's British, from English, and from southeast of England. And I look at where my parents are, and that's not to do with immigration. That's to do with not enough property, prices going through the roof for houses. There's a place that we lived for a while called Isle of Grain, and it's like houses. When we lived out there, we're going for about 150,000, sometimes 160. Same houses now are going for 330,000. They've like doubled in price. Wages haven't doubled. That's the problem. People going about, I paid out this when I was young. I had to save and I had to scrimp and save and that. But people used to spend a lot more money on food, and now we're spending very little on food and buying the cheapest stuff we can get our hands on. We tend not to. We try and buy local, but yeah, it's just house prices are ridiculous. So moving over here, I mean, house prices they're no different to the southeast of London. They're probably Kent prices, so they're not different to that. So, but getting on the ladder is quite tricky for someone because of what I get the house with the job, but I have to leave it when I retire, and I then don't have a home to live in. So I've got to sort something out before I retire. Yeah, I've got a bit of work to do on that. But I'm actually speaking to someone from the bank on Monday, and the Church of England might be offering potentially underwritten mortgages in the future. But will it be too late for me to get on the housing ladder? I only want a little 2-bedroom flat. I say 2-bedroom, just me and my wife. And we don't have separate bedrooms, but to have enough space for us, like a little 2-bedroom flat, a really small house, but probably more like a flat, probably up in Ramsey, somewhere like that. We like Ramsey. So we've got a bit of work to do to get there. People, not someone trying to start something up, but people get with the guts to do anything to improve the place themselves. Yeah. That's the trouble when you're doing anything. That's anyone sees a little bit of joy or happiness or a bit of success. If they're not feeling great themselves, quite often they'll find that they put you down. But Treg, I reckon you've got a little bit of that in you that says, I should do this. Just do it. Just do it. Go, get on with it. Just go for it, mate. Honestly, those little things, to get good publicity over here, So it's such a small community that everything gets on the front page. You'd have to do some it might be worth getting some permissions for some things. Like you could offer the commissioners, say, we want to do it at the bus stop. I don't know whereabouts on the island you are, but you could ask someone, say, I want to do it at the bus stop. Can I just go and do it? We want to do it for free. I know people who work for the commissioners in Castletown. So one of them's one of my, he's like an assistant church warden, but he's one of my guys. And Tim, he's great. And these guys would probably be able to do it, but they've got other jobs to do as well. So budget as well. Plenty of people are happy to knock something. And Treg said, down to those who have the energy and passion to make a difference, to just get on with it. Yeah. So at the moment, my stuff that I'm working on is about offering well-being and mental health stuff to people locally and space. So far, we've got a toddler group that's come in. We've got an AA group that's come in. I've got people now getting in at the early stages, get ready to train to become volunteers at a wellbeing cafe that we're going to put upstairs at St Mary's. There is going to be a young person's drop in. It's not going to be a youth club because I don't want it to be kicking a football around in a hall, playing football and table tennis, because that's available. There's a youth club that does that. Not all kids are into that, but we're looking at working with computers and stuff because that's my area of expertise. And actually having like places where they can game, but also places they can chill out, get a drink, sit down on sofas and just chat to friends, but be inside and safe and out of the rain and in the winter particularly. So like a youth drop in and an elders drop in with the computers as well, because a lot of older people are struggling to get on the internet. They need a bit of guidance. They need to have internet access and a computer. And a lot of them can't get on. And if you haven't got access to a computer, you're not getting the best deals on your house insurance, your car insurance, your holidays. You're not probably being able to keep in touch with people. So a bit of training, a bit of support for elders in the community, possibly a community fridge, bits like that. So we've got a whole load of different stuff that we're looking to do using our resource, which is I've just been speaking to Ed Game as well, which is like a men's club, and they've got a women's talk as well, and I'll stand up to suicide group as well. So a few different groups I was talking to yesterday at the Manx Royal Manx Agricultural Show. They had some stalls, some stands there, so I've got all their information. So I was working with partners and people who want to work with it, do some stuff like that to try and basically, as a church, my view as a church, yeah, we gather there to worship, but actually we're massively about service and serving the community and building the kingdom, as I would call it, which means getting out there and doing stuff to help other people. And not to proselytize. Proselytize means trying to convert people to become Christians. That might happen. That people might come to the church anyway if we've got a better profile. I know that. I'm not silly. But it's not about being in there and saying, oh, you're welcome to this group. How about you come to church on Sunday? It's just knowing that we're a community that help out and do other things all through the week and serve others and go out and help others. And that's the plan. So it's a bit of a big project, to say about £500,000 project we're working on, that I'm working on. So, but that will bring a lot, it's £500,000 invested into the community in Castletown. So it's no small fry thing. And it's all about well-being, men's mental health, women's mental health, and young people, and so youth. We've already got a toddler group, as I say, and we've got an addiction service through AA, so we're doing all right. We've already got a couple of bits in place. Also, I believe it was the capital until 1869, till it moved to Douglas. But yeah, it was absolutely the ancient capital, as we're known as. So it should have a much higher profile, Castletown. Family and health is wealth too. Yeah, reason we moved here. I mean, my kids are way better off, much happier. They go out. They've been out. Both my youngsters have been out today. I mean, they're not that young, 15 and 16, but they've been out today, going out to see friends. One of my son's got a friend whose dad owns a farm up at Ronnock, that kind of way, and they've camped out in his fields and done cooking on the big fire and slept out there. The kids go to the beach and go swimming in the sea. They go out and they've gone to fireworks displays on the bus on their own, and lots of stuff that late at night we wouldn't let them do in London because we'd be worried about more time. So family health is so important, their well-being. My eldest daughter's got a job in Boots. She loves that. Upstairs, she's one of these girls that has the holster on her hip with all the brushes and stuff, and she's doing great. She's doing really well there, really well for herself. Different person. She didn't want to necessarily move here, and she was a bit of a breakdown when she got here and wasn't happy about it. But she's so happy now. She's settled down. She's got a boyfriend, and she's got a new place that she's living. I won't say where it is. I couldn't give too much information away. But it's quite remote, and it's got like horses around it and chickens in the back garden, and she loves it. The other two are doing all right at school and stuff. Just waiting for some GCSE results to come through for my youngest daughter. And my youngest son is only a year between them, so he's just about to start his GCSE year. So yeah, lots going on. Always busy, always busy. My wife's got a job, so she works at Clear Pharmacy. She's training to be a pharmacy dispenser. She can never get her training in. Unfortunately, they keep losing staff, and she ends up doing extra hours, or at least she doesn't have the time to do her training. But hopefully, she'll get her training done because she's actually smart and she could do it. And it's been a real good challenge for her. But I'd like her to do that and finish off the training there. And me, I'm happy. There's times it's hard work, and it's times it's quite challenging, and times I feel like I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but I think every priest feels like that at times. I've been ordained for nearly 10 years now. I've been here for 2. I've always been thrown in the deep end a bit. We've got some good stuff coming up, though. The church on Diocese of Sodor and Man is what we are, which covers the island, Church of England. So I'm getting involved in comms now, communications for the diocese, and so hopefully we'll have a diocesan kind of few bits set up for comms, a bit more interesting, some TikToks, some short form stuff and bits and bobs that we're going to do, some interviews, some live streams from churches and stuff, and we're just going to try and boost the profile of the diocese a bit, because there's loads of good stuff some of our churches do with food and feeding people and taking care of people and visiting people and raising funds for charities and all sorts of stuff. It's a massive group of volunteers. Most of the big volunteer groups, if I go to any charity shop on the island, I usually end up speaking to someone who goes to the local church. Around here locally, the charity shops, I always see my congregation members in them volunteering. They're just they love, they come to church, but they're also a massive volunteer group for the island. Was it a bit of culture shock making the move? Was it a culture shock? Do you know what? I think the best thing about the move, the best thing you can do if you move to somewhere like this, is take on the local culture, like be a part of it, fit in. Don't try and bring your stuff with you. Don't try and put all that on everyone else. Get in there and be a part of it. Go to the tractor runs. Go to the village hall for I do as a vicar anyway. I'm always at these things, like for the Christmas shows and the carol singing and the lighting the Christmas tree. I'm often the one who has to light these things and be the sort of public face. But yeah, getting out there and get into the culture and be a part of it and fit in. If you come over here and start moaning the minute you get here about it hasn't got this, hasn't got that, there's no I don't know what's not here. I can't believe the high street's terrible, it's got no Primark and all that sort of business. So that's the worst thing you can do. Do you know what? The locals can moan. People who lived here 30 years can moan. People who've always were born here can moan. But I don't think you come over here and moan. And there's a little bit too much of that goes on. But we don't. We've dived straight in. We're fitting into the community. We're meeting people. We've made friends over here. Love it. And I think the culture here, I think it's so much healthier than people realise. You've got to ignore the Facebook and in Facebook comments. You can't look at any kind of news story that's going to rile people up, because it's exactly what it's designed to do. So ignore a lot of stuff out there on social media. If you just meet people, they're bloody lovely over here, and make you fit in. Always there to help you out, and we got on great with everyone. So we feel like and yeah, what's the culture? It's just there's a little bit of magic in the air. There's definitely a bit around folklore and that sort of thing, the supernatural and folklore, which is, it's just really interesting. And the history, if you love history, kind of you're on a Viking island. Good old King Ori and all that sort of business. So all that, like the history of the island is incredible. It's got such a rich history, its own language, castles and amazing places to visit. It's just got such an amazing. So just fit in. It's all right. So did I find it a bit of a culture? No, just love it. I'm so much more relaxed. I'm so much happier here. I can't tell. Another stream, another time. I'll talk about what it was like working in London, and pretty shocking at times and stuff. The abuse you get. Not about being Christian, just generally people just being horrible, people trying to break into your house when you're in it, and all sorts of stuff. Kids being threatened and attacked and all sorts of stuff we went through. So yeah. Anyway, the island isn't everyone's cup of tea. If it's one of the very best places on earth, I think that's really key. It's definitely not for everyone. I don't like the whole. I think like my parents have done it. You know, go, oh, I'd love to move here. It'd be lovely, and I just go. You'd have to think very carefully about it because too many people move here going, it's a bit of a fantasy, and it's the real world. It's in a different place. Yeah, you've got a lovely location, but you're not going to get rid of the. You can't run away from your problems. A lot of the stuff's still here. A little bit of homelessness. There's not the same sort of poverty as you see in London, but there's still poverty here. There's still food bank. There's still people struggling with mental health and well-being. There's still lonely people on the island. That's not just the elderly people who are stuck at home. There's other people with mobility issues, or just people who have got to the age of my sort of age and haven't got any friends. It happens, and they go, I haven't got any friends. I'm on my own, and it's so yeah. There's loads of those sorts of issues. Used to see a classic with clergy. Clergy would get to that sort of last post kind of thing. They've got their last 5-10 years, and they go, oh, we'll go down to, in the UK they go, oh, we'll go down to Cornwall to this lovely little parish here, and that's where we'll retire to, but we're taking on a little job down there for the next 5 years until I retire. And they go there and be so lonely because it was in this beautiful place where they knew nobody. But yeah, sorry about this cough. I've got a little bit of a tickle going on here, but won't be on for too much longer, I guess. Yeah, so not everyone's cup of tea. Definitely shouldn't make anyone talk anyone into move. I wouldn't talk anyone into moving here. I say it on here like to people who go, I love it there, especially if you visited it. Come here in the winter as well as the summer. Come and visit when it's at its worst. I love it in the winter. Doesn't bother me. Like wild weather, I think it's amazing. I find it exciting. With my wife and I, even in the summer, nearly got blown off the top of Snowfell. It was so exciting, so fun. When you can come home. So Phil Kringle, local farmer, delivers me this huge ton rubble sack of wood. I pile it up in the garage, and we've got a stove, in the front room, and we just put logs on it. And you get in, it's pouring rain outside, it's blowing a hoolie, and you sit there by a roaring fire. And if it wasn't so horrible outside, it wouldn't feel so good inside. And I picked up some Fenoddery sloe gin at the Royal Manx Agricultural Show, and yeah, that's lovely. So I can sit there with a sloe gin and in front of the fire when I'm not working. That is, it just gets a bit wild outside, but you've got to have the right clothes. So I've got really good with my hiking and stuff. I've got just got a new waterproof, really good stuff, and you just got the right clothes, you're fine. Did any of the children pick up Dad's gaming skills? Yeah, they're all gamers. They're all very different sorts of gamers. So my eldest is a bit of an addict, admittedly. We try and work with that, and he's at university, but he took his computer with him, and he's based at Aberystwyth in Wales, actually, and yeah, he's massively loves his gaming, but he does get out, and he gets out with his mates, and he's got more of a social life since he's been at university. My eldest daughter, she plays a lot of kind of what sort of games? Kind of like the fast-paced stuff. So she plays a lot of the games. If she wasn't quite so shy, she's not kind of shy, because she's beautiful. All my kids are handsome and beautiful. They really are. I mean, we all say that, but they really are. But she could. You know what it's like. I hate to say it, as a ugly old greying ginger person. I was never going to be massive. The only feature that made me interested was my USP. My unique selling point was the fact that I was a priest who played video games. That's what helped me grow. But she's beautiful, and she's funny, and she can play video games. She's really good at them. And so she's actually, one of the things she's saving up for the moment is to get a new PC, because her old one is like pretty old. But she's getting to get some. She's already bought the case for it. So she's into the gaming. My youngest daughter plays a lot more the chill, like Roblox games. She plays with friends that she knows, and obviously online safety. I know all about that. Doing what I do, I know about it, and so she plays like Roblox and things like that. And my youngest boy, he's into kind of like anime and cartoons. So at the moment, he's playing sort of Batman, like Arkham Asylum stuff, and he plays that sort of thing, but more of a console gamer. But they're all into it, which is kind of handy over here because I mean, like I say, it's all balanced. They've both been out today. They go camping, they go to the beach, they go out and see friends, they hang out. Sometimes they all turn up here and they're in my front room. We've got quite a decent sized house, vicarages generally are. So they just take over the lounge. We've got this great big long old sofa that I got from Crossroads. Big old leather sofa, so we don't care because we've got a dog, so we didn't want anything too precious. Brilliant, massive sofa. And they all just crash there and they watch TV and they films and sometimes they end up staying till the middle of the night. Sometimes we have them all sleeping on the floor. So it's great, and so they have that balance, and they play video games. But in the winter, when you can't get out so much, they play video games. It's great. They don't have to go out. They can still they're usually online with their friends. They're still talking to their mates, but they don't go, oh, I can't go out, I'm bored. They go, oh, it's freezing cold, it's pouring rain, I'll talk to my friend. And they're also in groups and clubs and things, a lot of art stuff. One of my daughters is in the cathedral choir. My youngest daughter's in the cathedral choir, so she's constantly running backwards and forwards to the cathedral. She does that. So there's loads of stuff, and there's loads of stuff for the kids to do. And when anyone says there's nothing for the kids to do over here, I want to pull my hair out because they have no idea. There's tons in London to do for kids, and that's what people are looking for. Everything costs. Everything costs money. My daughter gets paid for being in the choir, only like a pittance, like 50p a time or something. But she gets paid. So there's clubs and groups you could be in for the young people. They've just got to get off their backside and go do it. Sea Cadets, Army Cadets, Air Training Corps. I was in the Air Training Corps when I was younger. Scouts, Cubs, Brownies, Beavers, youth clubs, government-funded youth clubs. They're everywhere, and you can go to these. There's so much, and then there's all these other, and so much for them to do. It's ridiculous. If you're into art, drama, sport, there's like ridiculous amounts of stuff on the island. You can do music, massive on the island. It's a very musical island, a very sporty island, a very like am-dram over here, amateur dramatics. They do shows at the villa that are just they could be on a theatre in London. They're that good, and the acting's that good, and the performances are that good. No wonder there's so many like little stars that end up going on being in Marvel movies or being on the TV. We've got a few people out from the island, not surprised. Totally agree, Treg. Been to the island many times since the 70s. My dream to stay there. Oh, gotta be. It is one of the best places. It's one of the safest places. Safety is a massive thing these days, and we have done immigration on this island. We have had people come over, and we have had Ukrainian families who've come over and fitted in, and they've stayed. It's all been very organised, and I've got zero problems with that. I've got zero problems with immigration. We need people. We've got loads of Filipinos over here, South Africans. We've got only half the population is actually Manx. So 85,000 people, about half is Manx, and the rest are people who've come from Liverpool, and they've come from the Philippines, and they've come from South Africa and America, and some people are coming back to their roots from the generations before, and there's lots of different people all contributing. I think that the main thing is over here is we won't see anything much else than that, because no benefits for 5 years. There's nothing in it for people to come here. So we won't see boats and ships coming here because they'll just get turned around. They'll get sent back on the ferry. There is no facility for them here. So I think that's pretty good. Thanks, Treg, mate. Thanks for the Patreon. I appreciate that. It's just popped up on my watch. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Can I just say to anybody, I do have, yes, I have Patreon. I buy me a coffee. Kind of everything gets vested back into the equipment and stuff that I use. But thank you so much. Really appreciate that. I'll never make money out of this. I think I probably got to the point where I was starting to make money when I was doing Twitch, but that's not my point of this. But anything that comes to me just helps me continue with it. Things like fixing my car, which it will never cover that, but getting my car fixed will get me back on the road to do more content in better places, because I'm looking to go up to doing Glen, a load of the Glens that people keep saying to me about, Glen May, and so travelling around it's difficult when I've got to borrow my wife's car. She's got a Fiat 500. I barely fit in it. We managed to go camping in it the other day, but I had to have seats down and everything to get a couple of. I packed as if I was hiking it, so I could pack pretty light. Yeah, it's the idea is to invest in the stream. So it's and not stream the cameras and bits, and just keep myself with the bits and bobs that I need. But I've already invested like hundreds and hundreds of pounds in like the right cameras and stuff. This not the streaming gear. So my streaming paid for my computer and streaming gear. But hopefully eventually the YouTube stuff for the Patreon, because we don't get anything for ads over here. There's no we can't get paid for YouTube or TikTok. I think you can for Facebook. I've still got my Facebook account set up. I still get paid for Twitch actually. So I get paid for that. But yeah, anything you do, just to let you know, it's not for me. Eventually, it'd be nice if I could make some money from my YouTube videos. I'm growing quite steadily. It's a graft grow. I don't think my thing's everyone's cup of tea, but we're growing steadily into. I'm about. I haven't looked recently, but where are we on subscribers at the moment? Okay, that's not the right page. Let's go to Studio, YouTube Studio. Okay, so I've gained another one tonight. So perhaps someone watching has decided to subscribe. But 469 subscribers, and it's just been growing steadily. I only really got into the channel in sort of the beginning of the year. So I'm really happy that I had like 20 people, 17 people or something subscribing then. So we're doing really well. I wonder if this works. Does this work on here? Maybe. It does. Set up for my streams. It's hallelujah when someone subscribed. So appreciate that. That's a Patreon hallelujah. Yeah, so it's getting there. Now, when I hit 500, it's going to mean nothing because obviously I can't get paid for it. But what I'm hoping is a couple of groups I'm part of. You've got Digital Isle of Man, and there's a new group that's kind of working on trying to petition in to get us sorted out, because the government basically needs to step in and sort it out. There's lots of content creators on the island, and they should be getting paid for their work and what they're doing, and they're not. So it'd be good to get to the point that we can. And there's workarounds, but it's all a bit dodgy, like having doing it through some family member's account in the UK and stuff like that. It's not the wisest thing to do, because you could get your account banned. So I'd like to do it properly, but I'd like to push it so that content creators on the island get paid for their work. And then yeah, maybe it's my little side hustle, if you like, eventually. But at the moment, all I've got is Patreon and buy me a coffee. And you can do that, and you can whatever. And if you don't, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. You get a Patreon. You get early access to some videos. So you get them a day or two or three before anybody else, when I can get them done in time. But that's about it. So, but I appreciate the support. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate that, Drew. What else have I got to do? What time is it? 10:20. God, should we aim to do 2 hours? I think 2 hours would be reasonable. And then I'm going to have to get to bed, because I've got to get up in the morning and drive to Ramsey to go to church, because it's my day off. So I quite like when I'm on holiday is to go to a church that I wouldn't usually go to. And I've gone to different denominations, the Methodist churches and stuff over here, or other churches, and I just turn up and I worship with them and don't make a big deal of it. It's good. But yeah, so anybody else who might be kind of watching in the background and thinking about it, I really appreciate subs. It's a big thing. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. It's like literally just click a button and you'll be notified when I go live or when a new video comes out. And watching the videos. It's a massive thing. Just sitting there. And so what I try to do, so obviously with Cole's videos, is I'll get through them, but I will watch them from beginning to end, even if they're just in the background. I have a lot of videos about it. This is nothing about Cole stuff. I do it with Kent Survival, with Paul Messner, with Stephen J. Reid, with all of them. Quite often it's when I'm working, and I'll have a video playing on my iPad because it's just a nice background, and I can hear the chatting and the talking. I watch a bit of the video, I'll listen a bit, that sort of thing. But watch them from beginning to end, it's hard work because it takes a lot of time. But hey, have it playing. Go and make a cup of tea while it's playing. I don't care. But that extra people watching more of it makes a massive difference to the algorithm and boost the videos and stuff. So, but hey, I can't tell you what to do. Do what you want. when my channel hit 1,000 subs, I started earning a few quid, but I think it also depends on the viewing numbers now. Yeah, it does. Yeah. You hit that. So because you're in the UK, you get like AdSense over there, and you get the YouTube, like the payments and stuff, and you got to have so much. It's number of subs, and also hours of viewing. So I think I'm nearly at the 500 mark, and I need to hit 3,000 hours of views or something like that. I think something like that. And it's I think it's 3,000. Doesn't really matter, does it? Oh, I can look on here. Here we go. Right, let's see. So eligibility. I need to hit the first point, which is basically where people can send super chats and stuff. I've got to hit 500 subscribers and 3 video uploads, which was easy peasy because I've done 3 this week. It's like, and I need 3,000 valid public watch hours. So it's 1,000. I'm at 1,985, and that's sometimes people just switch off after 10 minutes, so it doesn't build up. So even though I've got like a lot of views, I'm hitting 100. I'm over 100,000 views a month now, but that's including shorts and little bits of videos that people watch. I still doing the shorts. Some people say they're not good to do, but I like the little clips from my videos, and hopefully they're teasers and little bits that people pick up on, and maybe it brings a few people in. I don't know, but I'm carrying on with that sort of process at the moment. But yeah, I'd say you're something like 2,800 or something. That's like crazy. It's really good. But yeah, that would be the. But what I'm seeing it as at the moment is not about earning money. It's about hitting targets, having something to aim for. Always good to have something to aim for. So my next point will be amazing when I hit the 500 subscribers, which I am 30 away from. I'm picking up maybe 20 a week, 20, 30 a week. So maybe, but then the next week it'll be hitting the 500, which would be good. But I think I'll struggle then. I've got to get the watch hours up, and you guys can't necessarily change that. But if I thought the live stream might have a chance to do a couple of those every now and again, just to kind of, I'll probably advertise it in front. This is literally a trial run, but what I hope to do is kind of for a week before and say, right, this Friday or this Saturday I'm going to do a live Q&A, and we just sit here and like this, because clearly I can just talk for Britain, talk for the Isle of Man, I should say now, and I can go on for forever. So I'm happy to talk for a couple of hours and chat about anything. And like I say, while camping, faith, obviously, being a vicar, to do with the Isle of Man, I'm happy to put the world to rights and that kind of just have a chat, really. So talk about the news, whatever anyone wants to talk about. Just have a little kind of session on here where people can just jump in, say hello, get involved a little bit, and can ask me like the sort of stuff you've been asking me tonight, bits I like about my favourite walks, whatever it might be, because it becomes a bit more immediately interactive rather than you drop a message under one of my videos and then I might catch it a day later and then answer it, and then you might answer. Like, this is a bit more immediate, isn't it? So it's good. But yeah, it's just getting up to like a few thousand. I probably need one of my videos to kind of hit, you know what I mean? Just like some boom. It's it really kind of takes off, something like that. So, and that can happen. That can happen with a short. It can happen with a TikTok short, a TikTok post or whatever. They same thing on there. You have one that just hits and works. Video that people like or love, and if it doesn't, I'll grind it out and continue grinding and keep adding a few here and a few. And I guess there's some exponential rise as you get bigger. Then more people are seeing it, more people, and it'll push it up in the algorithm. Hopefully, that's the idea anyway. But I like the idea of the odd live every now and again, just so people can jump in and say hello, and it's good to see. I say, like, we've had Treg in here who's offered to help me out with sending me the details of a potential mechanic, which is kind of, it has been getting me down not having that car on the road, because I love it. I love old motors, but admittedly, It was getting me down that I couldn't be using it, and it's been sat there for so long and needing to be fixed, and my mechanics let me down. So that's great to know. It's kind of good to see someone who's been, I'd say Unstoppables pretty successful. Looks like Tregs Dudes does well as well. That's like Tregs channel. Doing all right. 8 months, I would say. It's been a while since the last kind of last post. You need to start making some more vids. Maybe it's your binfluencer, but your thumbnail game is excellent. And then you got Unstoppables. I'm already subscribed to. I subscribe to Tregs as well, but which is Unstoppables. I wonder if it calls a bit. You know, it's the only thing is it's whether it actually gives you an easy way of finding it, because I know is it Cole's Music or something? Unstoppables. No. Channels. You're under my subscriptions. Let's just have a look on here. It's so annoying. There we go. Yeah, 2.88 subscribers, 349 videos. Awesome. Oh, is it? Well, mine has gone for. Oh, okay, cool. 2.8k. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, you got some awesome vids on there. So I've done the Isle of Man stuff, but I don't think I've got all of it yet, actually. What have I got up to? I think it was the water wheel one. It was from a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, I'll get on that. But yeah, I love 340. It just gives me a little bit of a 349 videos. It means I've got plenty to watch, because I've been a bit stuck, because a lot of my people that I've watched stuff for, I've watched their old stuff. They're all up to date with the new stuff, and a couple of them have been doing like once every week, once a couple of weeks. So I run out of stuff to watch, especially on holiday at the moment. I'm so bored. I'm so used to being busy. Not slowing down is so hard for me. It takes me a good week to slow down. Even tomorrow, look, I'm on here tonight, and I'm getting up tomorrow, and I'm driving to Ramsey and going to a service. I can't stop. So guilty of lack of content at Millie. Must get it back into it. Depends if you're into Trek. So do you enjoy it is the thing. Do you like making it? Sometimes it feels a bit like, so with mine, I'm grinding away. You know, there's days I don't get another subscriber, and it sounds really good when you talk 100,000 views a month, but you know, like 99,000 of them is probably my shorts that I create with AI, so I don't have to do a lot of work because I don't have time for it usually. But yeah, so it's that there's a bit of grind to it. If you stop enjoying doing it, so with mine, admittedly, you see very little editing. I'll have an intro, an outro, couple of bits where I might put a little title up or something. There's a title at the start. It's part of the intro, and if I do some drone footage, I'll add some music to that as well. That's about it. I cut some stuff out if it's really bad. If I know there's a bit, like I mentioned something quite not terribly rude, but we were filming in the tent at the Manx show, and I said something rude, and I realised I was filming, so I had to cut that bit out, because even though I don't really care, people care, and I'm a public figure. So that's not me being headed. It's naturally, as a vicar, you got eyes on you, especially if you do anything wrong. So you can't say anything without being caught out. So I'm trying to be careful. But yeah, just kind of I for me, massive part of making the videos is making me go out and doing some online stuff I can do, which isn't like the streaming like this. But when I was doing the streaming the video games, I'd have to start and be on for 3 or 4 hours. And sometimes I'd be talking to myself. Sometimes when I started off, it'd be like me and 2 people, and it was hard work, and it took a while to get that going. But you had to be there. Whereas with my videos, I go, oh, I'm going to go out for a walk on a Monday, because my day off is a Monday. Get 1 day off a week. I'll go out and I'll go for a walk. If I go for a walk, I do some filming as I go. And if I go for an hour walk or a 2 hour walk and make myself a cuppa on the way, or make myself some lunch, That's my video. I've recorded it. It's got me out of the house. I do the video, download it, or upload it onto the computer, and then a couple of bits I've got used to doing. All my videos look blooming the same, but they're different places. Hopefully, a lot of the time, and people are quite interested in the Isle of Man, and there's sort of real time walks. If you do that, no messing, and it gets my content out there, and it's my workflow means it doesn't take you a huge amount of time to do, and that's the only thing I can put a video together and upload it in, well, excluding the time it takes to transfer it to the computer and upload it and for YouTube to check it, I can do it in less than an hour. So it's a half hour, 45-minute job. So I've got it down to a good routine. And then I run that long form video through Opus Clips, and that turns it into a load of shorts. And then I schedule the shorts to be released over the week. So there's like a diary thing, and I've actually kind of reduced it a bit because I think I was going a bit mad with it. I do usually one at 6 a.m, one at 6 p.m, and one in the middle of the day. And I did do some, I might have some still going at sort of 1 a.m. to kind of catch the American audience. And so it's like 3 videos a day, and that will go out on Instagram, Reels, on Facebook, X, and TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. And so it's like 5 platforms. Boom. And they'll just go out for so once I've scheduled those, and it's all been made for me, I'm done, and I don't need to do any more uploading or pressing any more clips up for the rest of the week. So it's all kind of automated, if you like. So I've got to a good routine. I love making content, but I need to have that spark, mate. Honestly, sometimes I did a stream the other night, like a Twitch stream, just to kind of get in gaming, playing a game called DayZ. And I haven't had that spark to play. I can switch my gaming PC on for 6 months. And I had a couple of weeks off from doing the videos on YouTube as well, because just like I think I had a week where I had 2 funerals, and I'd been unwell. What happened? I can't remember why I was unwell. I've been pretty like, I felt nauseous for days. The other week before I went out walking, I'd lost 10 pounds. I put it back on again now, I think, from going to the main show. I lost like 10 pounds in 5 days. I'd been quite ill, and I've had a back injury since January, but it's been playing me up today, funnily enough, but it's been pretty good, so I've been able to get out and do walking. But there's been times where I've had a couple of weeks off and gone, I just can't do it. And I know what you mean, that kind of, it's that get up and go, and I'll just do it. But sometimes I'm playing about with different lengths of videos at the moment, and I've found that I can do like 10-minute videos and 20-minute videos and 30-minute, half hour, whatever it might be. And they probably go down better, if I'm absolutely honest. But people tend to watch more of them because people give up. They got an hour video. They go, how long's this? How long is this boring Vicar on for? So it's hard work with those. But yeah, you can make quite short content, and a YouTube video can be sort of 10 minutes. So get out, record something on your phone, chuck it on there, just to get some content out on there. I'm back. You could do an I'm back video. It'd be great. Get out there and do it. I think the main thing is to create videos because you enjoy them. If a bit of coin come along with that, it's a bonus for me. Love it. I hate editing. You love editing. I can tell you like your editing. Your editing's so much better than mine, obviously, because I barely edit. But your edits are really good. There's some really good stuff in there. So you do, like your picture-in-picture type stuff, and you've got like you got a lot more going on. Editing, I could get my head around. I've had to teach myself, but that's why I used to love doing live stuff. So when in COVID, I also did live streams of church services because people couldn't come to church. I was one of the early ones to do that. I had to teach myself in a week how to use OBS, which is a online broadcasting something, or OBS something. Anyway, it's a software, but it's open source broadcasting software. And I had to teach myself how to do that and start doing live streams. And the reason I did live streams is because it meant I didn't have to edit. So whatever mistakes happened. So I'd do the church service, it'd be on camera, I don't have a mic, it'd all work fine. And sometimes it didn't, but most of the time it worked fine. And the thing with it was, the vicars who end up doing their services by recording them and then taking them away and putting titles on everything. Like they were probably recording their Sunday service on a Saturday. They'd spend an hour recording the service, and then they'd spend another 3 hours editing it, and it was just a huge job. Whereas I'd do an hour service, 45 minutes, because it was online service on a Sunday, and I'd be live. I'd go live at 10, finish at 11. I was done. So yeah, the live streaming is a lot easier. This is a lot easier than making editing videos. I've been on for 2 hours. If I did a 2-hour walk, this will end up being a live. This will stay as content on my page, but yeah, we'll see. Hey, nice one. This is it. I love the communities on YouTube and on the island, and the people involved in streaming stuff. Same streaming now, recording stuff and sending the videos. It's good. OBS is great. Yeah. So Streamlabs is kind of been using on the side, which is basically nicked everything from OBS and Stream Elements I've tried and things, but it's just like all the same kind of thing. So I've just got it all set up here. So with my what mic is it? I've got the Elgato. I've got the Elgato mic and Stream Deck. So I've got this stuff. I've got overlays and things. So this is what my stream should look like. I've got the bits switched off, but and usually have that up there with the game capture on. There we go. And then you'd have, I don't know if this will come up. It should come up if we do a refresh on that. So I'd get like little updates like that. And you can go to that. I'm still here. I'm not muted or anything. This will be my live screen. When I was playing games, yes, I was Vicarious BIG, the Vicar of Facebook Gaming. And it's all like there's nothing clever about it. Be right back. And then the ending stuff. Let's get rid of some of that. I haven't put the YouTube chat on here, which I could do. I could have it on screen, which might be an idea. I'll look up how to do that. Perhaps the next time I do a stream, I will get rid of the social media because it's the wrong social media, and there we go. Yeah. So yeah, this is just my OBS setup. I just did a quick setup tonight to take all the game streaming stuff off. Showing off now. Yeah, so it's not really so a lot of that is just a themed template that I downloaded that I got when I had a paid version of Streamlabs, or got it off one of the people who make the overlays. So it was called Heaven, and it's got like the doves and the crosses and stuff, so it just kind of worked. But yeah, that's where I had my, and I had some other stuff. Oh. Wow, it's a bit much. Sorry, because that's what you do when you're doing game streaming. You make silly noises and make everything a bit of fun. But that's the. I used to have it. People could play sound effects into my stream if they made donations, and that. So it's really funny. But I used to do a lot of my links in that were donations to churches or charities and stuff. So I did some charity streams as well. Raised a few thousand, so that's all right. It's all good. I find videos under 10 minutes that perform better than longer ones. They do, absolutely. I also watch a lot more short videos than longer ones myself. Notice, yeah. I think the sweet spot for me is about half an hour. But I do watch podcasts, and I'll watch. Okay, don't judge me on this. I find them interesting. I watch the Joe Rogan stuff, and some of his can be 2 or 3 hours long. And he's one of the number one podcasts in the world. And also Bad Friends, which is really inappropriate stuff. I quite like it. Bad Friends, I watch theirs, and theirs are about an hour, just over an hour long. So I quite like a longer form content in the background, or if I have time. But I just find there's not so much TV and stuff that I watch anymore. So it's mainly YouTube videos, and the camping stuff will often be half an hour to an hour. Might be a bit more to it. Hikes and things, multi-parters. So I don't mind. But yeah, you might say 10 minutes to half an hour, because people go, if they start watching something, they go, oh, it's not very long, so they'll stay and watch it to the end. Whereas you get on one of mine, some of them have been 2 hours long as one stream. And people go, they might watch it, they go, it gets a bit boring. They go, I'm not watching the rest of this, and switch it off. I know. But I'm trying to do something different. So I'm trying to do something which isn't, rather than just, because there's so much similar, you know what it's like. You're trying to produce something new, and it's like there's so much of the same stuff out there. We're joking about it, I think, before. You see one more person testing out an Audi tent in a storm. I'm just like, oh. I went to go outdoors and bought the cheapest tent I could find. Sorry if you've done that. Apologies. I could probably do the same, and I might get some more views. I'm just not going to. I'm trying to do something which is more my own, and maybe people won't ever watch that. Maybe some people will start to grow and people will start enjoying it, and maybe they'll be happy hearing my droning voice and having it help them fall to sleep at night, which I have done with certain stuff that I like to watch, that I'll never get to the end of their videos because I'll fall asleep. And it's not because they're boring, it's because I find the voices relaxing or that environment relaxing or whatever. So I do that. I suppose over 2 hours now. Anybody else is here? I did say that I've got to get up and go to church in the morning. I'm not taking any services myself. So I probably should do my sign off and do a little bit of a ending thing to my stream, because I've got the button to press, haven't I, really? Ignore the social media links because it's all Isle of Man Vicar. Just remember Isle of Man Vicar and you'll find everything out there. And I probably won't get back to doing mini gaming streams. Maybe I'll do the odd one here and there. But if you're watching, make sure you sub to the stream. That'll really help. Sub to the stream. See, I can't help saying the word stream. Sub to the channel. Maybe like the video. Maybe I've got a few likes tonight. I appreciate that. You don't have to do Patreons or buy me a coffees or anything like that. Biggest thing for me is growing the stream a bit. So can't get the word out of my head, can I? Growing the channel a bit. And seeing where it goes, really. You can join me and watch any of these. I'll do some more of these Q&As. I don't know how often I'll do it, but I'm going to the church of car booting in the morning. Yeah, excellent. That's a big thing. We had one in Castletown the other day, and it went on till like 2 or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or something. And we're like so chuffed because I could do my church services in the morning and then still go to a boot fair, because we never get a chance to go to a boot fair anymore. So yeah, you may be tempted to see if there's any boot fairs, and maybe I won't go to church. There's some evening services I could go to. That might be nice. Pop along to Craig and Ish or something, St. Peter's, for their evening service. But yeah, I'm gonna head off now. So I should do that. Take care of yourselves. More importantly, take care of each other. God bless. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.